Ever notice how some men destroy their own respect, not through failure, not through weakness, but through the words they speak? They don't fall because life defeated them. They fall because their tongues betrayed them. They talk too much. They defend too quickly. They brag too often. And every time they open their mouths, they leak power. You can recognize them instantly. The loud ones, the defensive ones, the men who seem desperate to sound smart. But behind that noise hides insecurity. A Stoic man is different. He knows that silence is a strategy. He understands that once words are spoken, they can't be taken back, only regretted. Epictetus once said, "Better to trip with your feet than with your tongue." Because your words don't just describe you, they define you. In this message, we'll uncover 7 phrases that make a man lose respect for himself, and how to replace each one with the calm, disciplined wisdom of a Stoic warrior. If you choose wisdom over noise, say it now. I choose wisdom. Let's begin. Number 1. I already know that. 3 little words that sound confident but rot the mind from within. I already know that. The favorite phrase of the man who has stopped growing. He says it proudly, as if knowing something once means he's mastered it forever. But the truth is, he doesn't know. He only remembers fragments. A quote, a book, a podcast, something that once made him feel clever. Now he clings to that feeling like armor, because admitting ignorance feels like weakness. He would rather look smart than become smart. He would rather defend what he knows than discover what he doesn't. But while he's busy protecting his ego, the world keeps evolving around him. The Stoics would look at this man and see not confidence, but fear. The fear of being a student again. Epictetus warned, "You cannot learn what you think you already know." That single line should echo in the mind of every man who's ever closed himself off from growth. The Stoics didn't worship knowledge, they trained it. To them, wisdom wasn't a trophy, it was a muscle, and muscles wither when they're not used. A wise man doesn't walk into a room thinking, "I already know." He walks in asking, "What can I see here that I've missed before?" He observes before he speaks. He listens before he argues. He learns not to prove others wrong, but to sharpen his own clarity. Because real intelligence isn't about having the answers. It's about never losing the hunger for better questions. Modern men confuse information with understanding. They scroll through podcasts, watch motivational clips, read books, and call that wisdom. But reading about discipline isn't discipline. Talking about strength isn't strength. Knowledge without embodiment is just noise in disguise. The Stoic warrior knows, until truth becomes habit, it's still theory. So next time you catch yourself saying, "I already know that," stop. Ask instead, do I live that? Do I wake up early, like Marcus Aurelius advised, or do I just quote him for attention? Do I practice calm when insulted, or do I simply agree that calm is good? That's the difference between men who know and men who grow. The fool treats knowledge like a shield, he hides behind it. The Stoic treats knowledge like a sword, he sharpens it every day. The fool says, "I know," to end the conversation. The Stoic says, "Tell me more," to expand it. That's why one remains small and easily offended, while the other becomes vast, grounded, and endlessly evolving. So kill your arrogance. Strip your mind bare. Admit how little you know, because that's the moment your mind becomes infinite again. In a world where everyone pretends to be an expert, the wisest man you'll ever meet is the one who still calls himself a student. Number 2. It's not my fault. The cry of the weak, the anthem of the man who gives away his own power. Every time he says those words, he becomes smaller, blaming the world, his parents, his boss, His luck, it's not my fault. It feels good for a moment, a quick relief, like scratching a wound. But that relief never heals. It only festers. Because if it's never your fault, then it can never be your responsibility. And if it's never your responsibility, it can never be your victory. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Those weren't just words, they were survival instructions. The man who takes responsibility becomes untouchable because he stops waiting for fairness. He accepts the brutal truth. Some people will betray you. Life will be unfair. Storms will come. But your response, that's your weapon. The fool curses the wind. The Stoic learns to sail. The fool blames the rain. The Stoic builds shelter. The fool waits for the world to be kind. The Stoic trains to be strong. Responsibility is the highest form of freedom. When you stop pointing fingers, your hands are finally free to build your own life. Blame feels good because it offers comfort, but it's a comfort that costs your power. The more you blame, the weaker you become. Marcus Aurelius wrote about his failures nightly, not to shame himself, but to train himself. Because the man who says, "It's my fault," is also the man who can say, "I can fix it." That's the kind of man the world respects. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "It's not my fault," pause. Look around and ask, what part of this can I control? What lesson can I claim? What action can I take right now? That's how Stoic warriors think. They don't waste breath on blame. They build solutions in silence. Every excuse you make today becomes the chain you wear tomorrow. And every time you take full responsibility, even for what wasn't entirely your fault, you forge armor around your soul. The world doesn't respect the man who complains. It respects the man who owns his story, rewrites it, and walks forward without bitterness. So, drop the words, "It's not my fault." Replace them with 5 stronger ones. "I take responsibility for everything." That's not weakness, that's sovereignty. Number 3. I don't care what anyone thinks. It sounds powerful, doesn't it? Like rebellion, like freedom. But look closer and you'll see it's not confidence speaking. It's pain wearing a mask. Most men who say these words don't mean them. They've already been judged, already been hurt, and now they build armor out of apathy. They repeat, "I don't care what anyone thinks," not because they're free, but because they still care too much. They're tired of being misunderstood, so they pretend not to care at all. But indifference born from bitterness is not strength, it's just exhaustion. It's the sound of someone trying to convince himself he's above opinions that still control his peace. The Stoics never told us to stop caring about people's opinions. They taught us to care wisely. Marcus Aurelius didn't say, "Ignore the world." He said, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." That's the Stoic balance. You don't reject feedback, you filter it. You don't silence every voice, you simply choose which ones deserve to enter your mind. A fool thinks freedom means rebellion. A Stoic knows freedom means self-control, because the moment you need to prove you don't care, you've already given those opinions power. The wise man acts with virtue and lets his results speak in silence. If someone's judgment can shatter your peace, it's not their opinion that's powerful, it's your attachment to it. The Stoic asks, "Is this within my control?" If not, he releases it. True strength is quiet. It doesn't post slogans. It doesn't need to prove itself. It just moves in purpose. There's a difference between caring and craving approval. Caring builds connection. Craving destroys self-respect. The goal isn't to stop caring, it's to care selectively. Care about your integrity, your word, your actions, your principles. Care about becoming the kind of person you would admire, even if no one else notices, because the man who tries to please everyone loses himself. But the man who lives by virtue earns respect without asking for it. That's the paradox. When you stop chasing validation, people start trusting you. When you stop shouting, "I don't care," your silence begins to speak for you. So remember, I don't care what anyone thinks isn't power. It's a confession of exhaustion. Real power is when you could care, but choose not to let it rule you. That's what the Stoics called tranquility, a calm, unshaken by praise or blame. Live like that, and you'll never need to say the words again. The world will already see it in the way you move. Number 4. That's just how I am. It sounds harmless, but it's one of the most dangerous lies a man can tell himself. Behind those 5 words hides the death of growth. It's the anthem of the man who's chosen comfort over character. Every time he says it, he builds a prison. A small, cozy cell called identity. He decorates it with excuses and calls it authenticity. But that's not authenticity. That's surrender. Because no man is born fixed. We are all fluid, shaped and refined by discipline or decay. To say that's just how I am is to say I refuse to change. And nothing rots the soul faster than the pride of staying the same while pretending it's strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That means you are not bound by who you were yesterday. You can rewrite your habits, your temper, your reactions. Epictetus was born a slave, beaten, crippled, yet he rose to become one of history's greatest teachers. Seneca was exiled and accused, yet he used solitude to strengthen his soul. They didn't cling to labels, they broke them. The fool says, "I'm just impatient." The wise man says, "Then I must learn patience." The fool says, "I'm emotional." The wise man says, "Then I'll master emotion." Stoicism isn't about denying who you are. It's about proving who you can become. In today's world, people worship personality tests and zodiac signs more than effort. They say, "I'm a Leo, I'm impulsive, I'm an introvert, I can't speak up." As if the stars or letters could dictate destiny. But you are not your type, you are your training. Every time you act differently from your pattern, you weaken its grip. You rewrite the script. You evolve. The Stoic warrior never says, "That's just how I am." He says, "That's who I used to be." Because he knows that change isn't betrayal, it's refinement. The oak tree doesn't apologize for outgrowing its seed. The caterpillar doesn't apologize for becoming a butterfly. Growth is not arrogance. Growth is duty. So next time you hear your mind whisper, "That's just how I am," ask yourself, is that who I want to be, or just who I've been too lazy to outgrow? Your habits shape your fate, and every moment is a chance to reforge your character. Maybe you're impatient, practice stillness. Maybe you're reactive, breathe before you speak. Maybe you're selfish, give when it's inconvenient. That's how warriors are built. One small act of rebellion against your weaker nature at a time. Stop using your personality as a cage, use it as a forge. Burn away the parts that keep you fragile. Replace "That's just how I am" with "I'm becoming better than I was." Who you are is not a sentence. It's a decision rewritten every single day. Number 5. I'll do it later. The most expensive sentence a man can say. It costs dreams, discipline, respect, and time. The one thing he can never earn back. Every fool believes there will always be more time. He says, "I'll start next week. I'll fix myself soon. I'll be serious after this season," but soon becomes someday, and someday becomes never. The Stoics called this the greatest illusion of mankind, the belief that we have time to waste. Seneca wrote, "While we delay, life speeds by." Every time you say, "I'll do it later," you hand another piece of your potential to the grave. Procrastination doesn't look dangerous. It looks comfortable. It hides behind the illusion of control. "I could do it now, but I'll choose later." That's what the fool tells himself. But later is a liar. Later doesn't exist. It's a ghost that lives in the mouth of weak men. Later promises comfort, but comfort is the silent killer of greatness. The Stoic man knows that action is always the cure. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what nature demands. Get up now." Stop letting your mind play with you. The Stoic doesn't wait to feel ready. He acts to become ready. He understands that momentum, not motivation, builds power. Think about how many men talk about their goals, their plans, their someday. They make vision boards, talk about discipline, buy books, join gyms, but never take the first unglamorous step. Because talking feels like progress. It gives a small hit of pride, a false sense of movement. But talking isn't doing. Planning isn't changing. Every day they repeat, "I'll do it later," and every day the gap widens between who they are and who they could have been. The Stoics saw this as a form of self-betrayal, knowing what's right but refusing to do it. To them, the enemy wasn't failure, it was hesitation. The man who waits for the perfect moment will die waiting. There is no perfect time, only this time. The Stoic warrior knows that every second is a battlefield. When the mind says later, he answers now. Because now is where strength is forged. Now is the only weapon that kills procrastination. Every rep in the gym, every hard conversation, every small action, taken immediately. That's how a man rebuilds his will. Seneca called it voluntary hardship. Doing what's difficult on purpose to stay sharp. It's not punishment, it's training. So, here's your challenge. Think of one thing you've been postponing and do it today. Not tomorrow, not this weekend, today. Message that person, start that project, clean that room, take that first rep. Not because it's easy, but because your future self deserves action, not excuses. The Stoics didn't believe in later. They believed in living as if every day were their last. Because one day, it will be. The fool says, "I'll do it later." The wise man whispers, "If not now, when?" Hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever could. The world doesn't wait. Life doesn't pause. Every moment you delay is a moment you surrender to weakness. So stop saying, "I'll do it later." Say, "I'll do it now, before later buries me." Number 6, nobody respects me. Those words sound like pain, but beneath them often hides a confession. I haven't been respecting myself. Most men don't lose respect overnight. They give it away in quiet trades. Every time they break a promise to themselves. Every time they tolerate disrespect and call it peace. Every time they chase validation instead of mastery. Respect is never lost by accident. It's surrendered one compromise at a time. Then one day they wake up and realize no one listens, no one values their words, no one takes them seriously. But the Stoics would tell you, respect isn't something you beg for, it's something you radiate. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. You don't demand respect, you embody it. You don't chase it. You earn it through consistency, through integrity, through the way you hold yourself when no one is watching. The fool complains that people don't respect him while living in ways that invite disrespect. He lies, cuts corners, gossips, loses his temper, breaks his word, and then wonders why no one sees him as strong. The Stoic understands that the world mirrors your inner discipline. If you speak truth, act with clarity, and control your emotions, people can feel it. They may not say it, but they sense it. Respect is gravity. It pulls people toward those who live with order. The modern world teaches men to chase attention instead of respect. They post louder, brag harder, fake confidence to impress strangers who don't care. But attention is cheap. Respect is sacred. You can buy attention. You must become respected. The Stoic path begins with silence, with restraint. Master yourself before you ever try to influence others. Because the man who controls his emotions controls every interaction. When you lose your temper, you hand someone else the steering wheel of your mind. When you complain, you shrink. When you react, you expose where you can be controlled. The Stoic doesn't react, he responds. That's why people listen when he finally speaks. His words are earned, not spilled. Respect doesn't start when others recognize you. It starts the moment you stop betraying yourself. When you wake up and do what you said you'd do. When you speak less and deliver more. When you stop lowering your standards for approval. Self-respect is the foundation. External respect is just the echo. And the echo always comes later. Seneca said, "He who despises himself is despised by others." So if nobody respects you right now, that's not a curse, it's feedback. Life is reflecting what you've been allowing, tolerating, and avoiding. Start with one small act of dignity today. Keep your word even when no one will notice. End a toxic conversation instead of explaining yourself. Walk away from gossip. Speak truth quietly. Finish what you start. These small, invisible moments build your invisible reputation. Over time, they turn into a presence that commands respect without noise, without effort. So never again say, "Nobody respects me." Instead say, "I'm rebuilding my respect, one choice at a time." Respect isn't given or taken, it's reflected. When you respect yourself deeply enough, the world will have no choice but to follow your lead. Number 7. Life is unfair. Those words taste bitter, and every weak man repeats them like a prayer. He says them when he's passed over, betrayed, ignored, or broken. He says them to justify his pain, to explain his failure. But the Stoics would look him in the eye and say, "Of course it's unfair. It's supposed to be. Life was never designed to be balanced. It was designed to reveal you. The universe doesn't hand out equal chances, it hands out tests. And those who use injustice as fuel will rise, while those who use it as an excuse will rot in resentment." Seneca wrote, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave." The Stoics didn't whine about fairness. They trained for adversity. Marcus Aurelius lost his wife, his children, faced betrayal, plague, and war, and still ruled with calm and mercy. Because he understood that fairness is not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. The fool believes life owes him comfort. The Stoic knows life owes him nothing, and that's exactly why he's free. Once you stop expecting fairness, every difficulty becomes a gym for your spirit. Every setback a new weight to lift. Every insult a test of your composure. You either get bitter or you get better. But you can't be both. If everything were fair, you would never grow. You would never be tested. You would never discover what you're made of. It's the unfairness of life that sharpens you. the missed opportunities that force you to create your own, the rejection that teaches you self-respect, the heartbreak that shows you what real love requires. Fairness is comfort. Unfairness is where strength is born. That's why the Stoics never prayed for easy days. They prayed for the strength to handle hard ones. The fool curses the storm. The Stoic learns to dance with it. Because every storm reveals your discipline, your patience, your courage, and if you fail, good. Life just found your weak spot. Now you know what to train. Modern society has taught people to equate suffering with injustice. We post, we vent, we blame, as if naming the unfairness will erase it. But pain doesn't disappear because you complain about it. It disappears because you outgrow it. The Stoic doesn't seek revenge or pity. He seeks mastery. He asks, "What is this moment trying to teach me?" And in that question, he reclaims control. No one can make life fair, but you can make yourself formidable. You can become the kind of man who turns every disadvantage into discipline. The kind who doesn't waste energy on what's not fair, but focuses entirely on what's within reach. When life hits you, and it will, don't whine, don't explain, don't look for sympathy, look for the lesson. Every betrayal is training for detachment. Every setback is training for endurance. Every unfair moment is a mirror reflecting the strength you still lack. Instead of saying, "Life is unfair," say, "Life is testing me, and I'm ready." The world doesn't need to be fair for you to be great. It just needs you to stay disciplined, calm, and unbreakable, no matter what cards you're dealt. Fairness is not the path to peace. Acceptance is. Stop fighting for a perfect world. Build a perfect response. That's how a man becomes untouchable. That's how a warrior is born. A foolish man speaks to defend his ego. A wise man speaks to develop his mind. And in the end, your words will reveal who you truly are. Your fears, your pride, your discipline, or your lack of it. The fool says, "I already know." The Stoic says, "Teach me." The fool blames the world. The Stoic owns his choices. The fool speaks to impress. The Stoic speaks to express truth. Respect, power, and peace don't come from loudness. They come from alignment. When your words match your actions, and your actions match your principles, that's when you become untouchable. So from this day forward, watch your tongue like a warrior watches his sword. Speak less, mean more, and let your silence carry the weight of 1,000 wise men. Say it with me, "I speak with wisdom," because in the end, the tongue reveals the mind.